Good evening, friends. We are live again. It's episode 71. We're on our way to 100 nights straight of live streaming, and we're excited to be able to be with you again tonight. We're live on all of the usual suspects as far as platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, and we want to get right into it. Want to give a shout out to Flex Watches. I've shown the last 2 nights some of the watches that we're going to be giving away. They've made it possible for us to do that. So want to thank Flex Watches for partnering with me to be able to give you guys something back for being a part of this community. Hopefully you're getting value. Want to show you another cool watch from Flex Watches. Actually have it upside down, so let's show it right here. Really love the Sony ZV1 because I can get up close and it immediately focuses in. Actually, I don't have this upside down, so here we go again. And we're going to talk a little bit about gear for streaming and otherwise. This is not set to the proper time. I'm here in Texas, Central Standard Time. It's 9:46, so I have not set this watch. But hey, you'll notice that I'm blurred out, and this is focused in on, that's the product highlight or product feature capability with the Sony ZV1. So talk a little bit more about some of the equipment that we use in a minute. We don't talk about that very much, but a lot of people do ask me, so what are you using? What kind of equipment are you using? What software? Various different things. And I will say that down there in the description, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see my gear and a number of links that will point you to some of the things that we use. It's not an exhaustive list, but almost everything listed there we have or we want to have. I don't personally typically review things or point people to items that I either don't have or would have if I could afford it, or would have or will have at some point in time. So we'll be open and honest if someone asks us about a particular piece of gear, whether we like it or not, but we're not typically going to waste people's time with reviewing gear that we end up not liking. I prefer to spend my time telling people about gear that I actually like, because that means I've used it, that means I've researched it, that means that you can trust, for the most part, to the extent that you trust me, that it's a piece of gear that we depend on and that we like to use. So tonight's topic is just let's chat. So like I said last night, I do have some topics that I'm kind of preparing and getting geared up to cover and to talk about over the next several days. I think I mentioned at the beginning, this is episode 71, so we're on the downhill stretch to get to that 100 mark at least. I'm not sure what we're going to do after 100, but I will say go up here if you're on YouTube again and you're watching the replay, and you can click on the playlist. And for those of you that are watching live, I will pull up real quick the link and just kind of leave it up for a while, and you can go get connected on YouTube and watch our playlist and watch some of our previous episodes. I think there's some really good ones out there. Others are short and sweet, but still, even in the short and sweet, we certainly try to bring some value to you. So still want to hear from you about topics that you would like for us to cover, things that you would like to know more about. One of the areas that we focus on is live streaming. And so I mentioned I would talk a little bit about equipment that I use. And again, one of the key centerpieces in my live stream is the Sony ZV1 camera. Some of the things that I like about it and some of the reasons that I chose it, which will be important to you, whether you're new to live streaming, whether you've not gotten started yet, or maybe you've been live streaming for a while. One of the key ingredients that you want is what's called clean HDMI out. That basically means that when you're using your camera as a webcam like I am now, with clean HDMI out, when it's connected to your computer through a capture card, you don't see all of the controls that you would normally see if you're standing behind the camera, like the square that shows what you're zooming in on, the volume indicator, all of those indicators, which are really important if you're behind the camera, so that you can monitor what's going on. Most people, every video that you see typically doesn't include any of that. And the way that's excluded is by having a clean HDMI out. And that's not present in all video cameras. So Sony ZV1, I spent probably 6 months researching what to go with. I really wanted to go with a Canon, honestly, a Canon M50, because I was a Canon user, loved Canon, but I am super, super glad that I got the Sony ZV1. Now I'm very keen on the whole Sony line. The Alpha line is, I'll probably get an A6600 next, maybe an A7S3 potentially. Excuse me, that A7S3 is a humdinger, as they say. It's got tons of capability, but it is more on the pricier side, if you will, of things, whereas the A6100 or the A6600 Sonys are more budget friendly. Back to the Sony ZV1 though, another thing I like about the Sony ZV1 is it will capture video in 4K. I think more and more you're going to find that producing your video in 4K is going to be helpful if you're going to be editing the video later. If you're going live, unless you're recording on your camera at the same time that you're going live, the 4K won't do you much good, because there isn't really any streaming services right now that I'm aware of, at least the major platforms like Facebook and Twitter and Periscope, Twitch, YouTube, Amazon, a number of others. Some of those are still at 720p. Many of them will support 1080p. I'm not aware of any of those supporting 4K live. Now, if you do a pre-recorded video and then upload that to YouTube, YouTube does support 4K. One of the reasons you would want to, if you're doing a pre-recorded video that you're going to edit, do it in 4K, because then you can zoom in or zoom out. And with 4K, that's more data, which means you can zoom in and out and retain a lot of the quality that you would lose if you were doing that same type of editing on, let's say, a 1080p or 720p video. So that's the other thing I like about the Sony ZV1 4K. I mentioned it earlier. I love the product highlight capability. I'm trying to find another product here that I could show. For all of my Young Living friends out there, you might love this. So I've got a Young Living product here, Aluminize, and I'm going to hold this up, and you should see that the camera focuses in on this product very, very quick. And so if you're doing product reviews, videos, education on products, smaller things, it's very typical of many cameras to hunt, or what's called focus hunt, and look and pulse on focusing in and out, because they're not able to focus very well. But with this, if your lighting is good, my lighting is pretty dark, but you should see that that's focused immediately on that. Forgive the bright light that's on it right now, but it's very much in focus, and you'll see my face right now is blurred out. I remove that. I'm immediately back in focus. Put this over here, and now it's in focus, and I'm not. So that's the product focus feature. You can see actually pretty amazing how close I can get. So it's almost like having a macro lens as well. So that's the product focus feature. Now the Sony ZV1, again, is somewhere, I've seen it as low as $698 or so for just the camera. Well, there are some bundles where you can get other things, but for just the camera, $698. When you think of getting some comparable cameras where you have interchangeable lenses, once you get a lens that's equivalent to the built-in lens on the Sony ZV1, you're probably about the same amount of money. If you're talking a dedicated live streaming camera, Sony ZV1 is great for that. This Sony that I have here, although I can use it for, and do use it occasionally for other things, it sits on this tripod right in front of my computer, and it spends most of its time there. And I would say it's a pretty good focal length for close up, but a good enough wide angle as well. It's good in low light. I like that about it as well. It will use the high-speed SD cards, so that's a plus. And one other thing it has is a mic out, so that's amazing. What it doesn't have, which some cameras have in its category, is a headphone jack. It doesn't have a headphone jack, but there are some ways around that. I won't go into that much detail now, but if you're interested in knowing more, let me know. Moving beyond the camera, I wanted to tell you what microphone this is. This is a Deity VMic D3 Pro. I always forget what it is because it's kind of long, but a VMic D3 Pro from Deity. Some people say Deity. Great microphone. It's got a built-in battery, basically, so you don't have to interchange batteries. It will last, I think, up to 12 hours of constant use. I forget to turn it off sometimes, and it's still on the next day and can still use it. Typically try to turn it off. Typically, if I've left it on overnight and I recognize that, I will plug it in and charge it while I'm not using it. The other good thing about this is you could use this for Zoom calls. I have this in frame, as you can see right in front of me, because I like the proximity effect that you get when you're closer up to the microphone, but I could just as easily have this mounted on a number of different things that would have it out of frame, but still, produce a very good quality sound. So again, I prefer having it up close, but you've got some options there. This is what you would call a boom mic, and it does reject sound from behind for the most part. So you can vaguely hear that I'm snapping, but if I snap in front of it, you'll notice that you're hearing something that sounds like a snap that you would recognize, but if things behind it, it rejects the sounds behind and even out to the side. It still picks up things on the side more, but as you work your way around to the back, of the mic, there's more sound rejection, and that's very helpful. One of the other things that I use in my live stream is a ATEM Mini. I happen to use the ATEM Mini Pro. I'm very, very keen on using that. It's certainly not a necessity, but if you watch a number of my videos live streaming over this last 70 days, I've used that extensively to bring on an overlay, to do picture-in-picture, to show a screen, to play pre-recorded audio, pre-recorded video. All of this, by the way, you can do in StreamYard, but with some limitations at times, or needing to use things like voice meter, loop back, I believe is another one if you're on the Mac. So there's a lot of software approaches to audio, but I've found it much easier, honestly, to use the ATEM Mini. I have the Pro version with the ATEM Mini Pro. I won't talk about it at length, but with the ATEM Mini Pro, I can have a multi-view, which in other words allows me to view on an external monitor with HDMI Out, basically my show, both the preview of what I'm about to switch to and what's actually going on and what everyone is seeing in production, if you will. And it has some great audio capabilities. You can even apply some audio filters, EQ, a number of different things. So I think that it's a great addition to a live stream workflow, regardless of what you have, whether you're using StreamYard, OBS, VMix, Wirecast, BeLive, StreamYard already said, I think I said Ecamm. It doesn't matter. It will add to the quality, I believe, or the capability, the versatility of your live stream. So that's another big component. One of the other things that we use to record at many times our live stream is the SanDisk SSD Extreme Pro. I like the Pro version of that because it has a faster read and write speed. Now, StreamYard, which again we use 90+% of the time, and by the way, there's a link in the description to that. You can get a free account and live stream up to 20 hours a month, have unlimited conference calls for up to 10 people, all those kind of things. There's a link in the description. If you use my link, if you ever decide you want to get one of their paid plans, you can save some money when you upgrade if you use my link. So that's one incentive, I guess. ConvertKit is another link, by the way, that we have out there where you can establish a email list. And I might as well say it, and I'll get back to some of the other things I want to talk about. Go out there and create your own YouTube channel. I've said that now for 71 nights straight. Believe it's something that would be a great asset to you regardless of what you do. So go out there and create a YouTube channel, start live streaming, start doing pre-recorded videos, upload, go live, all those kind of things. It will make you ultimately more marketable, again, regardless of what you do, and develop a skill that I think will be, and I'm not alone in saying this, but a skill that will be, good to have as things progress, as we do live streaming more and more, as we, for some of us work remote more. You may want to experiment with Amazon Live. That's a pretty cool platform. If you like technology, or if you like talking about things that you enjoy that have a product component to it, it might feel like a QVC to a certain extent, but I've seen a lot of good creators out there that are going live on Amazon Live, making it interesting and unique, but also turning that into a revenue stream. Because if you're doing lives on Amazon Live and you're talking about products that are available on Amazon, you basically get affiliate commissions if someone ends up clicking on one of those products. And here's the beautiful thing, that cookie, as it's called, is active for 24 hours. So they may have clicked on a link for some technology thing. Maybe they didn't buy that, but maybe the next day or even that night, maybe they just buy some coffee, or maybe they buy a washer and dryer. I don't know. Maybe they click on a relatively small item with regards to its price and end up buying a big ticket item. And so you get the commission, obviously, on that big ticket item if they've purchased it within that 24-hour period. So I highly encourage you to at least go check out Amazon Live. I think that's one of the things that we'll do at some point, is talk about that in at more length. I think I have a link. Let's see if I do. Well, I don't have a link to show on the screen, but I do have a link in the description where you can go check out my Amazon Live channel. One of the other things I want to talk about, one of the tools that I use that's software as opposed to hardware, like camera, microphone, and by the way, a lot of lights. You see my background back there. I've got an RGB LED RGB light projecting basically on my wall, giving the color background that you see. But TubeBuddy, and I've got my affiliate link up here. That's another free tool. Many of the capabilities that come with TubeBuddy are free to use. You can upgrade your plan and do more with it, obviously. Start out with the free plan, of course, learn about what it can do, but this is a great tool to help you grow your YouTube channel. I highly encourage anyone that's going to start a YouTube channel from scratch, or for that matter, if you've had one for a while and you've not used TubeBuddy, why not get it set up and a part of your, your tool set to be able to grow your YouTube channel. So I'm probably really close to upgrading, if you will, to a paid plan myself. I'm still using the free plan. In all transparency and honesty, I started out using StreamYard free, ConvertKit free. I've used some music. Epidemic Sound had a free 30-day thing and used it, and then used Epidemic Sound for a couple of months. Now transitioned over to Soundstripe. And by the way, I think in my description, if you're on YouTube, another reason why you want to go check out my YouTube channel, get subscribed there, get notifications turned on. But on the in the description of this video and others for YouTube, I've got a link to Soundstripe right now. You can save 40%, and that's a pretty big savings. I think that's if you get an annual plan. The thing I like about Soundstripe, so we're talking now about another part of my workflow, or another tool that I use for both pre-recorded videos and sometimes even for live streams. Soundstripe, I can license that a song that I want to use on any platform, on any account that I own. In other words, as compared to Epidemic Sound, where I have to pick a single Facebook page, a single YouTube channel, a single TikTok, I guess, account. Whereas Soundstripe, you pay by the month, and you can use it anywhere where you have a social media account. So you could have 50 Facebook accounts and use your music on all of those. So, and I would say it's very comparable to Epidemic Sound with regards to quality and the variety, by genre, that type of thing of music that's out there. So Epidemic Sound probably has a better better name recognition because many YouTube content creators use it and promote it. But I'm seeing more and more content creators, pushing Soundstripe. And yes, there's one called Artlist. There's another one called Music Bed. So there's a lot of options out there. But right now, I'm exclusively using Soundstripe. Again, you can find that link, and you can get I think it's a 14-day trial, and then you can save 40%. Great deal on that. One other thing that I will mention here real quick, which it will be if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see it in the card that'll be up here. But if you're watching here on Facebook or any of the other platforms where I can't put that card, pulled up the link for the playlist. So go to that playlist. Again, if you subscribe and turn on notifications, you'll know when we've launched the next video, and when we've made comments. If we get to the 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, to be able to go and apply to be in the YouTube Partner Program, we'll also get what's called the Community tab, and we'll be able to basically post what is the equivalent of like blog posts. So that way we can keep you more informed about what's going on. I'm also going to show you one more time this Flex watch and give them another shout out, Flex watches, because we're going to be doing a giveaway, and I pulled up the link where you can go check them out, and that code where it says Flex50, you could actually save 50% right now. This watch here, again, look how quickly it focuses on that and how quickly it's back on me. That's, again, the beauty of the Sony ZV1. We're going to be giving this watch away, the two others that we showed past 2 nights. That's going to be exclusively on YouTube, so that's a incentive, I hope, for you to come on over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. And you're going to have to turn on notifications, well, because that's the way you're going to know when we have announced how you enter in to be a part of the giveaway. So I hope you'll do that. Tomorrow will be episode 72. So I want you to come back, want you to share with your friends, tell your friends to come and be a part of the live stream. We would love to have dialogue. If we've got comments coming through, we'll do our best to acknowledge those and answer those. If you're watching this on the replay, by all means, share your thoughts, your comments, and we'll get back and respond with those as well. But tomorrow is episode 72. But also, again, if you're on YouTube here, then I highly encourage you to go watch the video that they're suggesting for you at the end of this live stream. And we do appreciate everyone being with us, again, whether you're watching live or the replay. So until tomorrow, have a good one. All right, bye.